for it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming out to El Corazon tonight and playing the show. So what inspired you making music to begin with?
I think, I just loved hearing those sounds like in carpool, or when I was really young. I used to, sing songs to myself, whether, the theme songs from what I watched on TV. And it's the late 70s, early 80s. And it was just like, I didn't know what music was, yet, but then it had this really crazy effect on me. It was a very, very, it's kind of like perfume, you know what I'm saying? Like it stamps time in a certain way, and it makes your experiences, it colors your experiences in such a way. Like I remember Debbie Gibson playing in my carpool, when I was picked up from school at like 5 years old, and Shake Your Love was coming on, and it just had this weird fucking effect, and but like every song, back in the day was so infused with that when I was really young, because I was just getting turned on to that stuff, and I hadn't heard the Beatles. I heard early 80s and Michael Jackson, whatever was on the radio then, and that was the kind of music that I was exposed to when I was, at the very beginning. So I kind of think what I do is psychology rock. I said psych rock, but like psychology rock. So it's like, because I'm always trying to go back and recreate earnestly the feeling that I got from those initial experiences. So that's why it's like, it's not really like, I'm not like throwback retro. It's not about like being an 80s kind of like throwback band. It's about, it just happens to be the 80s because I am regressing to a place that was where I didn't know what the music was, and I didn't know how it was made. I didn't know what instruments. It was just like a fucking sensation that was just so. What was happening? What's going on? What's going on here? What is music? What the hell is it? What have you?
Yeah.
And then and you, little by little, obviously, like I wanted to learn the whole process of how to make that, and so I kind of like, started recording and stumbled into being a songwriter and producer and experimenter all at the same time, and just and a diarist too. So it was kind of like, it was all part of the same thing. It was all like I learned how to write a song by learning how to record and learning how to make it look like I knew what I was doing. kind of.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, I just wanted to do something that I hadn't heard yet.
Yeah.
I also wanted to convey the things that like throwback bands were missing from like their interpretation. So I wanted to like get the sound of the things that like the what was happening, the guitar band, the house bands, the sort of like your standard middle of the road, like things that like basically were ignored by the mainstream in a weird way, but the sound of what everything, like there was a sound of bands, back when they were trying to ape whatever was on the radio, that
definitely, yeah.
And there's this like a third-rate version of it, and that's, I wanted to kind of tap into that. I wanted to tap into like the mediocre sounds of the era,
yeah.
like something the forgotten, because that stuff is like not like really picked up on. So I wanted to kind of like just be in that space that was just kind of like where I could do something, and I wasn't really I wasn't strung by the same rules as normal people. I didn't want to be like seen as great.
Still warm, you want some?
Yeah. Do you have a cup?
Yeah, I'll give you a little cup. Alright, so this is the famous vibe osmosis question. If you were stranded on an island, but you could only take 2 things with you, or 1 thing with you, what would you take?
Oh, I'd take my daughter, and I would take I don't know, really I don't know, maybe like a bag of Cheetos.
Maybe a bag of Cheetos. Okay, all right. So if you could go forward, you're like, no, it's not warm enough.
I'm not going to an island anytime soon.
All right. So if you had a time machine, would you go forwards or backwards?
A time machine. Yeah, see, that's a trick question. So there's this thing as a time machine. I would never. Would I go back? I personally think I'm kind of one of these Zen people that is like, there's no hope. There's no hope in the future. The future only gets worse. All the good things already happened.
Well,
It only gets worse.
Fast.
So the whole idea of hope is a real. It's a disease.
Holding on to the past.
Well, the hope for a better future is something that's something that teenagers do. But there's nothing in the future that's good for me. I mean, there's only rot and degradation. I mean, there's no wisdom that's being, it's only hard times are ahead. So the whole idea of like hope for humanity or for anything like that, I mean, that's also fucking no fucking way. No, it already happened. It was good before. All the best times already happened for me, and they also already happened for you, for anybody. So they happened so long ago that like you got pissed off when they weren't so good anymore. when you were 10 years old, you were already pissed off about it. You got pissed off at your parents because they fucking failed you. But you experienced love when you were really young, and that was like the paradise. And we are always trying to bring it back, or we're not unsettled with the fact that it's never coming back. You didn't appreciate it while it was happening. That's the problem, right? You were pissed off about. You were trying to hope for the better of things. You're trying to fix whatever the thing was wrong, and then your whole life passes you by because you're pissed off about whatever is not right, and that's fucking waste. Then your life is done. You gotta fucking realize that right now is the best it's ever gonna be.
All right.
And you need to make sure that you appreciate it. It's the best it's ever going to be, and you gotta appreciate every moment. That's the reality. And you gotta appreciate all those older times too. You gotta keep them in your mind, and you gotta be like, I'm gonna keep that alive because that was fucking good, and that needs to stay. That needs to go. That needs to stay. That needs to stay. And but there's nothing to look forward to. And so I definitely wouldn't want to go into the future. That would fucking bum me out, especially after I die. I don't know what the point of going into the future would be.
And right before we go, thank you for taking this much time. What would you describe? This dirty little tampon. What would you describe that's inside this thing?
It's a cornucopia of goodies, I guess. It's a vagina rag. It's a vagina rag. It's got all my abortions on there, and period bomb. It's
period bomb.
It's our baby basically. It's like our aborted baby in a fucking cup.
In a period.
Very good.
Thank you very